What's going on, you guys? I'm making this video today. Well, the purpose of this video is, I guess, really to chat about something that's been on my mind that I've been thinking about for a little while. And I'm sure a lot of other young men have been thinking about it as well, especially with recent events, with the whole Epstein thing literally going nowhere, and Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever her damn name is, we'll call her Ghislaine. Ghislaine Maxwell filing an appeal to be released because there was nothing in the Epstein files, and she apparently trafficked young girls to no one, apparently. So with all of that going on, I think it's a pretty damn good time to start thinking about a revolution. And I say this openly, I couldn't care less, with my face exposed, tattoos all exposed. You see exactly what I look like. I'm not afraid, especially when you take into account everything that's been happening just throughout our lifetimes. And I'm only speaking for myself. I'm 26 years old, so I'm fairly young in the whole grand scheme of things and barely experienced life compared to a lot of other men that share a very similar sentiment that I've spoken to about in person. But as you get older, and well, as I've gotten older and learned a bunch of things on my own, done a bunch of research, you just realize that your entire life you're being lied to, whether it's through the educational system, the whole pharmaceutical industry, everything. When you learned that John D. Rockefeller back in, I don't remember if it was in 1919 or something like that, just in the very early 1900s, a very famous quote by him is, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." And not only that, when you take into account Ghislaine Maxwell, her father, Robert Maxwell, also bought McGraw-Hill, which, if that name sounds familiar at all, that's the same company that does all the education books from when we went to school. All the textbooks, all the kids' books, all of that is McGraw-Hill. So when you learn about constant things being thrown in your face, like, I don't know, the Holocaust having 6 million casualties, and you really learn that seems to be just kind of overhyped, but meanwhile, the last 80 years, we've gotten nothing but movies, textbooks, education about how that's the actual number, and we're just told to believe it wholeheartedly. And if you have any criticism about any of those facts that we've been given, or any criticism about our greatest ally, which is really another country for us to just fucking have genocide, when you learn all that and when you try to criticize any of that or even just question it to begin with, you're anti-Semitic. And not only on top of that, well, all right, let me just go back. I'm kind of just going off on a little tangent here, and this kind of explains and kind of shows how frustrated I am. And like I said, I know many other young men and even older men share the same exact sentiment that I do. And there's several reasons why I feel it's very important, especially now, for us to start a revolt. Like, I really believe now is the time. Number one, our rights have been infringed on for a very long time. Clearly, you see 2 guns on me right now. Second Amendment rights have been infringed upon in so many ways, and I don't even need to explain why, but you obviously know why. Not only that, but with the big beautiful bill going into effect on January 1st, now the ATF and just the government in general has a national registry and database on who has certain things, like the 2 NFA items in my hand right now, the suppressor and this SBR. So I'm in their database, as well as many of you who own any type of NFA item. So, and when you add the beautiful bill and you add into account the whole Palantir thing, well, now we're just being surveilled constantly. Now we're turning into fucking London, which they're one of the most surveilled states in the world. And so that's Second Amendment rights. Our First Amendment rights, I'm sure if you keep up with politics in any way, you know that they're trying to pass anti-Semitic laws. And when you have a country that was founded like ours, you're taught that every man, woman, and child is created equal, regardless of race, color, or creed. So it's completely unnecessary to pass any type of laws that negate free speech, period, because there's no reason to protect any other group of people because it's all protected under the Constitution, period. So when you get these extra laws that infringe upon your First Amendment rights, that's when your Second Amendment right comes into play. Now, if you're in New York or California or any other state where you're being cut like crazy, and if you're still living there willingly and you want any type of firearm, then you're making a big mistake. And I think it's kind of obvious why. But living in states like that, you're just totally cut and you basically can't buy anything. I know this. I'm from New York. That's why I kind of went crazy when I moved to a free state to where I could buy firearms no problem. And it's constitutional carry out here. So I have a buy license, but I don't fucking need one if I want to walk around with this concealed no problem. Or even this. So that's my first point. Many of our rights are being infringed upon. Number two, when you take a lot of the anti-speech laws into account, that also leads to the president classifying you or a certain group of people as terrorists, as domestic terrorists. So from that point, they could lock you up. No court, no due process at all. You're just labeled a domestic terrorist, regardless of if you're a citizen or not. And then you just get fucking sent to El Salvador or Guantanamo Bay or now South Africa, somewhere in South Africa that could accept immigrants now. So that's number two. We could be jailed without any type of due process. And I believe that's our 7th Amendment, 6th or 7th Amendment, which fair trial, obviously. And if you're not getting any trial period, what the fuck is fair about that? And number three, we haven't gotten any accountability for anybody. And I'm not just talking about the Epstein thing. I'm talking about everything, period. Why isn't Hillary Clinton in jail with all the fucking emails that were leaked? Why isn't Anthony Fauci locked up for all the bullshit COVID restrictions that was laid upon us 5 years ago when everything happened? And even he literally was quoted by saying, the 6 feet thing came out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from. Or a bunch of other things where he knew it was bullshit but did it anyway. Where's the accountability for Bill Gates? Where's the accountability for Bill Clinton, who was very obviously known to have been in the sheets with fucking Epstein? And that's another thing. I voted for Trump. I never trusted our government, even as a kid. I always never had faith in our government. But as I've gotten older and as I really paid attention to politics and how important it is, especially when you're trying to be a prepared citizen, I really had a lot of faith in this administration this time. And don't get me wrong, they've done a lot of good things. We were on a very good winning streak. A lot of good things happened. Granted, the big beautiful bill, there's a lot of things in it that is very anti what I guess most MAGA people would stand for, period, especially the whole surveillance thing. But we were on a really good streak. And honestly, this whole thing, especially when Trump had that reaction when he got pissed off when a reporter asked about the whole Epstein thing with the footage, and Trump got pissed. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. I felt fucking betrayed. I felt betrayed that at this point it's literally getting swept under the rug, just like the magic bullet theory. There's no second shooter. Tower 7 fell because of just fires that happened a day later. All these random things that occurred, and I'm tired of it. I am seriously tired of it. And it's getting to a point where obviously we have to live our lives and go to work, pay our bills, take care of our family. We're all regular people. We have to do what we have to do. But, and maybe I'm saying this because I'm a young man. Maybe I'm saying this because I don't have any children of my own yet. But I don't want to have any children until I see anything in this country improve. And I don't see any improvement coming without without us taking action. Bottom line. And at the end of the day, especially when you really learn your history about how the American Revolution came about and what the Civil War was about, you really learn the reality that the American Revolution was more of a civil war. And the Civil War was more of a failed revolution at the end of the day. So we need to have a 1776 sequel. We need to have a part 2 to us really getting our freedom back. How are we going from fighting the best, most powerful army in the world at the time because they taxed us 2% on a breakfast beverage, but now we go from that to paying basically 40% of what our total wages are to taxes, and pay more of that because everything we pay for is taxed. Even a fucking tax step for 2 of the MFA items I paid $400 extra for, when in reality these are things I should just be able to have. I don't need to have to ask a government agency, can I please have this, sir? Here's your $200. May I have it? I did nothing wrong. And then get my approval. It's ridiculous. It's flat out ridiculous. And I think it's time that we start organizing and really start getting together and figuring out what the fuck we're gonna do. Because at the end of the day, no real regime change has came about through democracy or through voting. Especially when you get to tyrannical, kind of where we're at right now. Especially with over half of our entire fucking Congress are dual citizens with Israel. So America First is a complete facade. There's no such thing as promises made, promises kept. All of that is bullshit. And I have completely lost fucking faith in this administration, period. I'm not going to wish for a downfall because at the end of the day, that's our downfall. I'm never going to wish for that. Even when Biden was in office and he was a fucking idiot. But I'm done, man. I'm fucking done. So we got to start mobilizing. We got to start doing something in order for real change to come about. If you want to have a better future for your children, because I sure as shit do, then we really have to get together and figure this out. Especially when so many of our policies lately and of our country period is just going in an opposite direction, to where it's making me want to be more religious and just follow religion, period. I grew up Roman Catholic, but we were never practicing. I'm Puerto Rican, so when you're Hispanic, you just grow up kind of Catholic. That's just the natural straight of things, I guess. But as I've gotten older, I honestly, especially with the whole, when you learn who runs everything, it's pushed me more and more and more to really be a solid Christian. Because at the end of the day, Christ is king. At the end of the day. So I just wanted to get this whole tangent off my mind, I guess, and say it out loud, because this isn't really something that you can just spew to anybody in the street. They'll look at you like you're a fucking psycho, or you're some sort of anarchist. Speaking of anarchists, did you ever realize that Black American flag? Because at the end of the day, I'm an American. Fuck the government, fuck the USA government. We need to take America back and really restore true freedom, because we will never be free in this country until we're free from Israel, basically, and get rid of all these politicians that want to keep us tied and that are being blackmailed. So, God bless America. God bless you all. And Christ is King.